Hello. Sorry for that delay. We were having a few technical difficulties, but we're here. Welcome to the first live stream of Dear Nickel Project. If you're new to our organization, let me give you a few details about our organization. Well, first, I should say thanks for joining us. We're happy that you're here. I'm going to give everyone time to jump on before I even do a introduction to the organization. Hi, Marissa.
Hello.
We're waiting for a few viewers, and then we'll get started.
Sounds good.
We're so glad that everyone could join us today. We're about ready. Is everyone here? We have Talasha. We have, we're waiting for Danessa. Danessa's not on yet. I see we have a few people here. Let me go ahead and introduce our organization. The Dear Nickel Project was founded in 2018, and we were founded to build a support system for young adults who suffered from depression. We've been attempting to fulfill that goal by having monthly peer support groups and teaching coping skills for anyone, actually anyone between the ages of 18 and 35 is welcome to join us for our peer support groups. When we have our major events, everyone is invited. We have children and parents, grandparents, everyone is invited to those major events because the mental illness goes around, touches everyone, all parts of the family. So we want to make sure that everyone feels included. Now, the peer support groups, we want to keep those within the age range of 18 to 35 because sometimes our young adults may touch on things that are not, that are sensitive, and they may not be appropriate for children, and they may not necessarily want their parents to hear the things that they're talking about. So we try to keep those peer support groups to that target age. Let's see. We also try to encourage everyone to talk about the things that are bothering them, whether they may be the virus or maybe relationship, family. It could be anything that is affecting them. We're trying to give them an opportunity to talk about all those things that have been bothering them that they may not want to talk to friends or people that may be unbiased about. I am Nichelle Weissing, and I'm the founder of the Dear Nickel Project. Dear Nickel Project was organized in the memory of my son, who was a young adult who passed in 2017. Nickel was severely depressed, and he was able to touch numerous people, all races, all ages, and able to actually make a difference in other people's lives. So I thought that I would continue that by building the Dear Nickel Project to continue honoring his name and keep his legacy alive. Today, let's see, we are waiting on another member, but now we have in the chat Talasha Branch, and we also have Marissa Hughes. They're both mental health professionals, and they're here to talk to us about questions that have been submitted within the last few months from young adults. Marissa, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am a licensed professional in the Woodlands area. I specialize working with teens, with kiddos, and working with adults. I'm studying movement therapy right now, and I do some trauma work, ER, which stands for eye movement reprocessing. And I'm also a mom and
Your volume is going in and out. Can you hear us, Marissa?
oh, okay. I wonder how. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I wonder how I make it like in my technology. I don't know. Okay, so did y'all hear me?
Yes. I think we got most of it. Talisa, you want to tell us about yourself?
Sure. My name is Talisa, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I serve people in the Spring and Woodlands area also. North Houston, I'm not far, just right up 45. I work with adults as well as adolescents. Dear Nicklin Project is near and dear and close to my heart. You know, serving young people who otherwise wouldn't get any assistance or have anyone to talk to. I like to provide that space for them. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. We're still waiting on our third professional to jump in on the chat. But while we're waiting, how you ladies been coping with the life changes due to the virus? Marissa, you want to tell us how you've been coping?
Uh-oh. I don't hear her.
I don't either. Marissa, can you hear us? Okay, Talisa, tell us how you've been coping. You and your family have been coping during the virus pandemic.
My family, we are a working family, so it can be challenging trying to work, balance your children, your partners, while dealing with this virus. You know, we can't see a lot of our extended family, especially the older members, but we do a lot of phone calls, text messages. We spend a lot of family time outside. I picked up a new hobby that's helped, you know, to cope. Doing Zooms and FaceTimes and things like that with family and friends are helpful. It's fun when you do one like with the theme and everybody goes with the theme, or Netflix watch parties, things like that. And just being open to share with each other how we're being impacted has really been helpful for my friends and family to listen to me as I listen to them.
Okay, looks like we've lost Marissa now.
She's logging back in.
Okay, well, let me just tell you guys what I've been doing. I have been quarantining. Luckily, I'm able to work from home. So I've been staying in the house and staying safe. I hope everyone else is doing the same. And if you have to go out, please wear your mask. I don't think that the mask is meant to interfere with your rights. I think this it's meant to keep you safe as well as keep others safe. And I think the last thing that we want is to be hospitalized or to have a family member hospitalized and sick because we chose not to wear a mask. Here's Marissa.
Yes.
All right, welcome back. Can you tell us how you and your family has been coping during the changes of the virus?
It's been interesting. I had to realize to allow myself to be a human. Like, we all have this thing where we might want to be like Superwoman or perform or just like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to make the most of this time. But I had to allow myself to just be a human, not a therapist at home, and just experience the grief that I might be going through or experience the anxiety and just go ahead and feel the feels. And then, of course, utilize the tools that I do know, like going outside, getting some vitamin D, because I know that's good for me, and establishing new routines within my kids because they lost a lot during the school year that they didn't get to do, you know, that closure, that sense of community. So that's kind of how we've been coping.
Okay. All right, Danessa, I see we've added Danessa into the chat. Welcome. Danessa? Uh-oh, looks like Danessa is frozen.
The joy
Okay.
of technology.
Yes. Well, Marissa, can you tell us, I'm sorry, can you tell us what you've actually missed since the quarantine?
Look at my nails done, okay? I painted my nails for the first time in like months, and I thought I did a great job, but then I just found out like this morning. This is just 2 days old, so you know, it's real surprise.
Oh, okay. Danessa, are you with us now?
I'm here.
Welcome.
I'm here.
Glad to have you.
All right.
Danessa, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Busy.
What happened? Uh-oh, I think Danessa's frozen again.
Yeah.
Danessa.
Okay. Well, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
So, Danessa is, well, professionally, I'm a social worker and I'm a chemical dependency counselor professionally. That's what I do. I think the best way to describe me though would be just say I'm a servant. I just like doing. I'm a busybody. I like serving. I like giving.
Looks like we're frozen again.
Issues, but
Uh-oh.
what happened?
Danessa's frozen again.
I'm moving on my end.
Bless your heart. Tell us what you've been doing to cope since the pandemic.
But I'm moving on my I only heard part of the question. That is the crying shame stuff.
We're gonna have to have you type your answers.
Right? Type your answers in the chat. Okay, y'all. Looks like Danessa is frozen again. Every time I say you're frozen, you start moving. Okay. Let's see.
The question.
Let's try this. Can one of you ladies tell us why mental health is so important?
Mental health is so important. Well, the reason your brain is am I freezing?
Yes. If you type it in the chat, I'll read it.
Okay. We just gonna do that.
Yes, you type your answer. In the meantime, we're gonna go to Marissa and she can tell us her thoughts on why mental health is important.
mental health is really important because think about our brain and how it operates our whole body and everything around us. It controls how we perceive.
Okay, I'm gonna type it in the chat. This is ridiculous.
So if we don't spend that time and invest that time in our mental health, it could be very draining to maybe keep all these balls afloat or to even do day-to-day functions. So that's one of the reasons, to me, our mental health is so important, because it is the operating system of our whole body. Talaisha, you were saying something too.
We can't hear you, Talaisha. Are you muted?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Oh, that's why I can hear you.
I agree with what Marissa was saying. Your mental health impacts everything. You know, if you're feeling depressed, it can cause, like she said, issues with just daily function, being able to get up and take showers and make something to eat, to have the motivation to do those things. Stress causes people all kinds of physical problems, you know, whether it be migraines or strokes, heart issues. Everything is interconnected with your mind, body, and your spirit. So it's important for us to take care of our minds, just like we take care of all the other organs and functions of our body. You only have one brain. You can't get a brain transplant. You can't replace it. So we should take care of it and keep our minds healthy.
Okay, this is from Danessa. Mental health is important because of situations just like this. Life will throw you unexpected curveballs, and in those moments, you have to have time. You have to have the mental stamina to rise and press on, and even laugh in the midst of adversity. Yes, ma'am. You have to be able to laugh about it. Definitely. Okay, so our next question is, how do I know if my feelings are actually depression or anxiety? And should I be worried?
Can you repeat that question? You're breaking up a little bit.
How do I know if my How do I know if my feelings are actually depression or anxiety? And should I be worried?
Thank you. Marissa?
Well, for depression, I'll take the depression part of it. So with depressive symptoms, you're going to most likely experience like extreme tiredness, or actually a great way to put it is the things that used to bring you joy don't bring you as much joy anymore, or maybe any joy. It could be described like you're laying in bed and it just takes so much effort just to even get out of bed or put your foot out of bed. The things that you used to like, I think gyms are just now opening back up, but if you used to go to the gym like every morning and you used to get it in at the gym, and now you're like, that could be depression. Now it shows different ways in kiddos, because kids might just show as cranky and withdrawn. But the big thing with depression is the fact that the joy, the loss of joy, and the fact that you are not wanting to do the things that you used to want to do are signs that you will see on the depressive side of things. And then I'll let y'all, if y'all have any more, and then somebody else can speak on the anxiety portion.
All right, I will speak about both depression and anxiety. So what Marissa said, is definitely correct. You don't have the energy to get out of bed, to shower, to take care of your basic needs. Depression is different than sadness. We all feel sad. And a lot of times people get the feeling of sadness confused with depression. We can be sad and still be able to function. you know, but depression is something that's going to impact every area of your life. You may feel like you can't go that day. You can't get out the bed. You may be calling into work because you just do not have the energy to do so. And you're not lazy. Depression is not laziness. That's not what that is. You may feel like you have, your hope. You don't have as much hope. You may be feeling sad and down for no reason. It may be a situation you didn't have a life loss or, a breakup or nothing has happened in your life that should make you feel sad, but you just have that overwhelming feeling of just being down and you can't figure out why. Some people may experience just random crying spells. And they're like, I don't even understand why I'm down and why I'm crying. Some people withdraw. They start to notice that they're talking to friends less. They are not even responding to text messages or emails. You may realize, wait a minute, I only showered once this week. I ate maybe once today, or maybe I haven't eaten in 2 days. Things like that may be some signs of depression. And anxiety, everybody also has a level of anxiety as well. Anxiety, when it's healthy, that's our coping mechanism to stay safe from things, that we should be fearful of. But when it is a clinical type of anxiety, it's going to be to the extreme. I can't go to the grocery store because I'm worried. I'm scared about the people around me. I can't drive my car because I'm scared and I'm worried about, being on the road. Some people have panic attacks. Some people have social anxiety. They can't go into a crowd of people. They can't go and make friends. Everybody's trigger for anxiety may be a little bit different.
Vanessa?
Well, they both of these ladies have summed it up so eloquently. Clinically, maybe kind of make it a little more plain. Like I said, they did so awesome with it. Depression may feel like somebody took a brick and stuck it on your chest, and you can't do anything. That may be what that feels like. Anxiety, in many cases, and I hate to use this as an example, but it may be like the best example. Anxiety kind of feels like somebody took a taser and stuck it to your emotions. And when you're trying to do something, as to let's use the example, maybe going to the store, that thought of going to the store feels like somebody did this. And so you're just really wired. That would be the two differences that I would say, to think about it in those terms, that may make a little bit of sense. Like on one hand, depression, I feel like there's something, just a weight on me that I can't move. And anxiety can still be paralyzing too, because that whole tasing feeling can be very paralyzing too. That's worry. I won't say worry, but I will say aware. We have to be aware when we're not okay, and to be able to say, I'm not okay, even if you can't say it's not okay, and help you with that part.
Okay, so how does a person know when it's time to get help?
Anytime is the time to get help. There's no wrong time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody agrees?
I agree. You don't have to wait until you are in a complete crisis to get help. anytime you can get help. Even if it's just, I feel a little bit sad today and I don't know why, but it might not be at that debilitating level yet. Or you notice, I've been feeling a little anxious and I don't know why, or I'm stressed out about what's happening in the world and I don't know how to deal with it. I talk to my friends, I talk to my family, and that doesn't feel like it's helping as much. Maybe I need to talk to somebody else about it who can hear me and help me work through it. I can go and see somebody. So it doesn't have to be a life-altering situation that you have going on just to go and see someone to get help.
It's and
I think at that point where you say, I'm not okay.
Go ahead.
No, I said it's at that point where you just say, I'm not okay. That's a good time to get help.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to piggyback on y'all just to circle back. Think about if you're in a classroom and you're trying to learn something, you're really trying to grasp onto the knowledge, but you have so many distractions going on. So if we wait till it gets to that point where, okay, Danessa, Talacia, they said on this that we have to do this, and that's when I go. That is, you can still do it, and I still want to encourage you to do it. But just think about if it's the perfect environment to where things aren't going on, or you're not at your top of your stress level. Then when you come into my session, when you come into our sessions, we can do so much more. So I want to encourage us, as we know it's Minority Mental Health Month, I want to encourage us to, as a community, look, let's start. It's okay to come in therapy. You are not crazy if you come see a therapist. We're normal people and we're here to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's a new question. Why doesn't the Black community like to talk about depression?
Okay. Okay, I'll start this one. And it's gonna be interesting for me to hear what the other ladies have to say. Because we come from, we all do mental health, but from different perspectives, so to speak. So I'm going to say from a social perspective, why doesn't the Black community like to talk about depression? I think that the Black community doesn't like to talk about depression because we have
Oh no. Danessa.
Oh, she was getting ready to say something great.
And
I know.
Time to be depressed. Was being depressed. Yeah.
Oh man.
It wasn't an option, and so those are things that are passed on through generations. Have been taught not to be depressed. I come from a family where my grandmother would say, "We don't have time to do all that." Yeah. Am I freezing?
Yes. I want you to give us your last 3 sentences again, please.
The last 3, girl, I was freestyling.
Everybody loves a good freestyle.
Okay, I think back to our ancestors. Think all the way back to slavery. Okay, did those ancestors have the time or the option to be depressed? They did not. It wasn't an option for them to be depressed. So they didn't learn. Back then, they were taught, turn your emotions off and do the work. And so you have generation after generation after generation that has passed that mindset on, even though we're not.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
We're gonna have to put some of this stuff and upload it, because I feel like just gems, and we missing them.
Yes. We're going to do a separate video.
Well, a Facebook user I know just stated that the Black community is generally likes to be perceived as strong, and recognizing mental health is a weakness. That's what the last Facebook comment was. There it is right there. I paraphrased it because I couldn't remember it word for word. And I think that goes back to what Danessa was trying to say. Historically, our ancestors, as like during slavery and times after that, they didn't have time to be depressed. Not that they didn't experience depression, but at that time, you can't say, oh, I can't go out and work the fields because I'm feeling down because of what the consequences would have been. So you just had to push and get that work done and not complain. We weren't allowed to complain. Back then we couldn't express our true feelings of what we were experiencing to other people, because it would have been seen as weakness. It would have caused trouble for us back then. And those things are passed down through generations. Think about, for instance, growing up, when you got a stomach ache or a headache, you might get some ginger ale and a Tylenol, and you're going to be okay. Go ahead and go to school. You'll be all right. And it's kind of the same thing when it has come to depression. Yeah, you're feeling down, but it's okay. You just need to stay busy. You just need to go pray about it. You just need to go to work. If you just do this, then you'll be okay. But keep going, without giving permission to people to slow down and take care of themselves and to feel safe talking about how they really feel and addressing those issues. And we're at a point in time where it's okay for us to do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It doesn't mean that we're weak. Actually, you're stronger by recognizing what you have going on inside and standing up and saying, I need some help. I need to go and see somebody. That takes strength in order to do that, to go and talk to somebody that you don't know. Because one thing that you're also taught is you don't go into the stranger's business. You don't go talk about your business to other people that aren't in your circle, So it takes a lot to be able to do that. So if you choose to go and seek some assistance, you are strong. That is a huge strength that you have. So, Danessa, are you back?
I think. I think so.
Welcome.
If we were talking about nonsense, I would not have any problem.
You're right.
Wow.
And to speak on that topic and kind of wrap in.
No problem.
Go ahead, Marissa.
Okay, to speak on that and kind of bring in what y'all were both saying, the epigenetics, what has been passed down in our bloodline. What happens in our brain is when we're going through a trauma is noradrenaline is happening in our brain. It's good. It's a good thing. It maintains high alertness. It helps us respond to danger. We might be quick to temper. It also enhances our memory of traumatic events. So it was really great when we were going through things. But just think, if you stayed and you're ready. Can you sit down and think about your feelings when you're always ready? So culturally, all that stuff might have been passed down, but now what we're saying is it's okay. Like, let's take off of this stigma of it's not, we have to be in this noradrenaline, in this mindset. Let's sit down and feel some feelings so we can experience the highs and lows, and we can tap into all that is great within us.
Okay. Thanks, ladies. The next question is, why is it that when I feel down, I'm just told to pray about it?
Can I take this one?
Sure.
All right. So I think this also, it starts with history. The church, that was our therapist back in the day. You know, there were no therapists many years ago for us to go see and talk to. You know, so we went to the church and we went to God, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with praying. However, it is my personal belief that God puts people in places for a reason. Just because you go see a therapist, that does not negate your faith. You can still be a strong person of faith and go see a professional about what's going on. You can still pray, but maybe what you've prayed for help is that therapist that you're going to go see. You know, so you have to give it a chance. And sometimes people feel guilty by not just saying, okay, I'm going to pray about it and I'm going to let it go. I think this is a way of continuing to exercise your faith by going to see someone that can help you out, you know, and maybe that person is a person of faith too, and we'll be able to incorporate that into your therapy because that is possible. And when seeking a therapist to talk to, that's a question that you can ask. Interview your therapist. And if that is a value that you hold, talk to them about that. And if they don't hold those same values, you go on to the next person to see if that person would be a better fit for you.
Does anyone else have anything to add to that?
You can have Jesus and therapy.
Yes. Yeah. They actually go together, right?
That's right, they do.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Only thing I would add to, if you think about it, hopefully I won't add to that. As you think about it, many times when
Oh my goodness.
Type it
in. Maybe what
Danessa, you're frozen again.
we need to do in order to healing is we need the therapist as someone to, and so like the lady just said already, so Jesus and a therapist.
Danessa, can you type your information in the comments for us? Because I know you're giving us a gem. Can you put it in the comments? Please. Just put us a little snippet in the comments. After we get Danessa's answer, we're going to move to talking to a few questions that I have about the racial climate.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Danessa, are you typing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's really focused.
I know, that's why I didn't know whether she was typing or frozen again. Okay, let's see. All right, here's what Danessa said. Think of the emotional or mental concern as a disruption of the spirit. Maybe a therapist is needed to navigate that. I think that we're also going to do a separate video later so that we can have all of this information on our YouTube channel. I think this is going to be very relevant for our organization and for our community.
Yes.
All right. Here's a question about the racial climate. Where'd it go? How do you feel about the civil uprising around the world? Has it directly affected your family?
It's incredibly heartbreaking what is going on right now, but I don't feel like it's a new heartbreak, and I don't see how it would not affect my family. It definitely has. I have an 11-year-old son, and I had a conversation with him. I was like, "Hey, how you feeling? What's going on?" And he was like, "Mom, why don't they like us?" And that broke my heart. Like, to explain to my 11-year-old, because of your skin color, you have to act a certain way, you have to be a certain way, because no matter how much I want to change the world and how much I want to help make it a better place, I need my son to be able to come home to me at night. I need him to be able to live and do the things that I want, that I will do the things that he wants to do with his life. So ultimately, I do need him to know that there's a certain thing that when he's interacting with a police officer, if he does ever, you know, you need to be, I don't know, it's a different, like, there's a different way that I'm teaching my son to interact with police officers, to be very polite and everything like that. So yes, this is heartbreaking what's going on right now. And yes, it affects, it's very heavy. It's one more thing on that list of things that are heartbreaking right now.
In my life, it has also impacted my family. As Marissa said, there's no way that it cannot. I am a mom of 2 Black boys and a Black husband. I'm not a mom for him, but I have a Black husband. You know, and it's scary. My husband goes to work every day. He can get pulled over at any time for anything, you know, and you don't know what the outcome of that will be. You know, my 12-year-old, he's growing. He'll be a teenager soon. He's starting to get a little bass in his voice, and he is the sweetest kid you would ever want to meet, you know, but they don't know that, you know, they don't know my baby, and he will always be my baby, but he's not my baby to the police. He's not my baby to the lady that sees him riding his bike or walking down the street, or, you know, playing at a park and assume that he's threatening in some way. And things that children should be innocently able to do could possibly cost him his life for no reason. And even more so as he grows and gets older. And that's a scary thing, but that is our reality. And it's not necessarily a new reality because it's been going on for generations. You know, this isn't something that just started yesterday, but I think people, they tend to forget that since we're not living in the old civil rights area with, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and the sit-ins and all of that stuff, that the racial issues are not relevant anymore. Like they just stopped back then. And now all of a sudden they're starting again. And what some people in the world didn't see until now is that it's never stopped. You know, maybe it wasn't as blatantly known to some communities, but it's still been going on. And now people are more comfortable with expressing their dislike for Black people. You know, they're comfortable, you know, starting something with someone in the grocery store or at the gas station, or, you know, just doing your day-to-day activities. And that shouldn't be the case. You know, I saw a story the other day a gentleman was shopping for a vehicle at a luxury car dealership. The lady thought he shouldn't belong there because he was a person of color. We have money too. We have jobs. We have money. We can buy luxury vehicles if we want to. That should not be a call to the police when nothing was wrong. And that one call to the police could cost that person their life. So I think it impacts our families, it impacts our friends, it impacts the way we interact with other people. I know people who no longer trust their folks they used to interact with that are not people of color anymore because they're afraid. They don't know their true intentions any longer. And that's sad. I'm sorry, I'm a talker. I can go on and on.
Vanessa?
Oh, I thought she was typing.
Okay, here we go. Danessa says,
Are you good?
She is
And
definitely, Danessa says she has definitely been affected by it and that she's afraid for the Black men in particular in her life. She's more aware how to think before I am more aware now to think before I react and speak in dealing with my Black brothers because I can only imagine what it's like to walk in their shoes. I am encouraged, however, by the dialogue that is coming out. Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we have a comment up here. Someone, one of our users said social injustice happened then and is happening now. And someone else says it never left, just like the virus. It's true, but it seems like it's getting worse.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Where is it? What if I am afraid of the police? What should I do?
Fear isn't always, fear can be utilized. Maybe it's how we word it. So I want to be aware around the police. I want to be aware of the fact that you have a firearm. I want to be aware of the fact that you your quick impulse reaction to maybe my quick movement or my nervousness or my not remembering the questions that you're asking me because of all the other stuff in my head from the day or just knowing, what has happened, could affect my livelihood, my whole existence here on this earth. So
am I frozen again?
Yes, Vanessa.
So I want to. So I guess what I'm saying is maybe if we reworded it and said something like, "Hey, this is my awareness. Like this fear. Thank you, brain, for the fear because I want to live and I know that this is a danger." So that's how I carry myself around police officers when I'm interacting with law enforcement. And that's how I teach my son, like, hey, they're actually here to help. I've interacted with cops before who have been helpful. So I just need to be aware that there are some, obviously, who are not here to help. So that's my take on it. What do y'all think, ladies?
Anybody else?
I think fear, like Melissa said, can be healthy. It doesn't have to be negative, and it will cause more awareness. I know I'm extremely aware when I see law enforcement driving by or I'm walking past them anywhere. I think you have to use that fear to try your best to protect yourself in a healthy manner. I think responding to your fear with any type of aggression, that's what I would be. more concerned about, especially in these times. And so, tone of voice, all of these things impact the way that we deal with law enforcement. And it's sad that we have to be afraid because, in previous times we taught our children the police help you. If you're in trouble, this is where you go. And now it's a time where it's almost like you have to teach them to be fearful of the police to a certain extent in order to keep themselves safe. So with the times that we're in, I don't think that it is abnormal to feel that fear. Everybody, not everybody, most people, many people, especially people of color, are experiencing those same fears when it comes to the police. But coming up with your safety plan ahead of time is important. Remembering that it's okay to record. Video has helped a lot of people. It's okay to record audio and video, and keeping your license and registration paperwork and all of those things in a area that is visible and easy to access, so there's no concern about what you're reaching into. Things like that. So planning ahead so that if you do encounter law enforcement, you will know how you're going to respond or what your plan is to respond.
Okay. No, Danessa is frozen again.
She's tired.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Danessa says, I say, just like any other fear, face it head on. Don't wait until you're in a situation with the police to interact with them. I speak. When I'm at the gas station, store, or whatever, I make it a habit to look them in the eye and speak. I think we have dehumanized each other, and we have to get that back. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. In case you didn't know, July is Minority Mental Health Month, and Marissa's going to give us a little information about that.
Yes, and I was supposed to have statistics and everything, but what I want to say about July being Minority Mental Health Month is actually I want to bring it home, because we can very easily, if I wasn't on my phone right now, I could very easily pull up the stats. Anybody can, but I want us to think of our own family situation and think about maybe your parents and your grandparents and maybe some things that you start noticing. When I think about my family history and I start really tracing and thinking about, so did grandma say she took nerve pills? Did auntie do this? Did she seem really on edge, or did she have moments where this is going on? Do we have periods of time with that in our family that nobody talks about or people can't remember? So what I actually want us to do is like bring it home and make it really personal. I want our listeners to really think about your family history and think of how it being Minority Mental Health Month, maybe we can all benefit from us really knowing that we're carrying some things that maybe it's time to go ahead and maybe process. Maybe this is a safe space or a good starting point where if you're tuning into this live, you might be at a great point where you want to explore your mental health. And when we go and make these steps towards healing, we're not only step towards healing ourselves, but our family, and we're passing down that generationally. So your children are going to benefit from, or the people you interact with, because it might not even be children, it might be your relationships, your siblingship. So rather than spout out some facts and figures that I don't have right now, I want you really to bring it home and think about how your mental health will be benefited from looking into addressing issues that you might have going on.
All right. Thank you, Marissa. Okay, ladies, as we wrap up, I would like for everyone to give us at least 1 or 2 self-care tips that we can use during the quarantine.
Oh, yes. Okay, I guess I will go first. Because Danessa is frozen in and out.
Type, Danessa.
While
Type, Danessa.
I'll go ahead and speak. So, a couple of self-care tips is, one, finding a safe person that you can vent to. Finding someone safe who you know that not judgmental, that will listen. You know, even when you're not necessarily seeking advice, because sometimes we don't want advice. We just need to get something off of our chest. So finding that safe person, you know, start with the friend, start with the family member, you know, coworker, a mental health professional. If you don't have, you know, anyone else, jobs have EAP programs nowadays. You can look into that. So find a safe space for you to get your thoughts and your feelings off of your chest. That's one. Do something for yourself that you enjoy doing. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. So if you are someone who likes to work out, you might not feel comfortable going back to the gym, but start working out at home. Start walking in the neighborhood, walking the walking trails or around the park. You know, do some yoga if that's what you like to do. Or maybe you're not a person that works out. Maybe you're into music. Participate in these online concerts. You know, everybody knows about Club Quarantine. I've been to Club Quarantine many times. You know, you can turn up at home. I don't even know if people still say turn up. But I do. So I can turn up at home, put your music on, have you some snacks, you know, your soda, whatever it is you're going to have. You have your family there. You can enjoy it. You can change up your lighting, make it fun for you. That is taking you away from other things that can be stressful and doing something to take care of yourself. And mindfulness. I'm about mindfulness too. If you don't know what mindfulness is, we don't have time to talk about that right now, but look up mindfulness and meditation. Black people do use mindfulness and meditation as well, and it is okay to do so.
Right. Okay, Danessa says, spend time nurturing your spirit daily, not about religion, but invest time in connecting to what you believe about life so that you can live it wholly. And make a habit to check in with at least one person in your circle daily and just talk. That sounds great. All right, Marissa.
I'm very artsy-fartsy, so I like to incorporate the arts in my processing and stress relieving time. So my whole house might get a karaoke show. And it doesn't matter if they didn't sign up or pay for the show. They're getting it, and you're welcome. I like to dance. I used to teach at a gym, so I might put on one song and go ahead and dance around the house. I like to draw as well. So, and I'm not good at drawing. I just like to do that. So it might be something I do. So I guess what I want, the self-care tip that I'm saying is referring to the arts is if there's something that you used to do as a child that really brought you joy, I want you to go back to that. Even if it's blowing bubbles within your room so you don't spread the germs because, we're trying to be safe. But even if it's just as silly as that, just do something that's really, really stress relieving for you, so you can, because our stress levels are so high now. Let's lower it down.
Yes.
Yeah. A Facebook user said that self-care tip of journaling and finding a support group. Those are also good self-care tips. And nowadays, there are many support groups that have moved to online. Most people are not meeting in person. The way support is set up right now, you can find support every day. You know, if you're some type of more structured online support group, or your support group may be those friends that you're calling, you know, once a day to check in on. It could be getting on a Zoom or the Facebook Messenger group thing that they have now with your friends and just talking about nothing, you know, or talking about TV or whatever it is, you know. So that could be your support, is doing that in a group too.
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay, guys, we're about to wrap up. I want to thank everyone that participated in this live today. I hope you were able to get something out of it. It will carry you through the quarantine. Well, not just through the quarantine, through life. I think that the ladies have dropped a lot of gems today, and hopefully you were able to pull something that has helped you in some type of way. I think I put up the banner that if you shop at Amazon, you can support us by using our Amazon Smile link. Since you're already shopping, what Amazon donates support, I think 5% to the Dear Nicklin Project, and that'll help to support us. So if you shop Amazon, if you know someone that shops Amazon, use our link sometime when you're out there shopping. I know I have been doing a lot of Amazon shopping during the quarantine, pre-quarantine, I'll just tell the truth. But I love Amazon, and I hope you do too, and hopefully you'll be able to use our link. This link is also on our Facebook page. We also have a new YouTube channel. So please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Even if you don't watch our videos, go in every once in a while and click on it so the YouTube will know that we are there, and they will acknowledge us and start to support us. If you're interested in seeing another live, please let us know. Drop in the comments or and let us know that you're interested in doing this again. I know I've had a great time, and hopefully next time we'll be able to start on time. We won't have the same technical problems that we had at the beginning of the broadcast. But what happened? And Danessa,
I said Danessa won't freeze.
This is true, but please contact us on all of our social medias. We're at Facebook. We also have a Twitter. We have Instagram, and now we have the new YouTube that we're going to be loading lots of information that will be relevant to our mission. So we hope to see you there. We thank each of you for joining us, and please be safe. Wear your mask. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your mental wellness, and be great. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.